Hey guys, how's it going? Octopus here. Welcome back to Union Cross. When we were talking about the KR22, it just came out today. I talked about the previous banner, the Darkness one, and I'll also mention to you guys that there's this future TVA medals coming out that do affect the Supernova. The way they work is pretty much they're going to be a new kind of Supernova. Usually when you activate Supernova, when you scroll down, the borders are blue. These new ones are green bordered, and Roblights call them green Supernovas. So what it does is when you activate a green supernova, you refresh all the other blue supernovas, so you get another chance to cast them all again. So it's a very cool mechanic coming out that's going to change a lot of setups, get you to 100 plus strength like it's no one's business. So when I talk about these new pull and skip videos until that medal comes out, this is all like, are you willing to wait for that banner? Is that banner going to be a mercy pull? Is TVA medals going to last long? Because they usually don't last that long, but at the same time, it all depends. With that unique mechanic, it's nice, but there's a couple things about those medals I want to talk about in the future when it gets closer to that point. For now, I'm going to talk about this KR22 because it is a really good medal, and it can do pretty much what I'm about to talk about when it comes to those TVA medals. So let's jump in KR22. Let me talk about it. There's different aspects you gotta look at this. You gotta look at this towards coliseum, like PvE coliseum, PvP, and also just in general from what you currently got. So the banner right now, let me show you guys the banner. It is a 5 mercy pull. Totally free to play. This is a free to play banner right here. 5 mercy pull, 15,000 jewels. Anyone that has 15,000, they want a new upright power medal. This is the medal you guys want to go for. Me personally, I don't really think I need any upright power medals. I could work on my upright power medal setups, but I've got like two Aussies on my free to play account. My main account's got other good upright power medals, so I'm not too worried about this. And I kind of want to compare this medal to Nominate a little bit. I'm gonna explain why, but let's talk about the medal itself. So the banner's beautiful. Besides the 5 mercy pull, if you guys scroll down here, you can see that you don't get any other Supernova plus medals. So he's the only one. So banner wise, as you're pulling for him, you're not going to really get anything good out of it, but he is a 5 mercy pull, so that's solid. So banner, 2 power gems, VIP coins, all that good stuff, and he's got more traits in the shop. I believe it is 1,000 jewels for 10 traits, not 30 traits. So just a little heads up there. So what does he do? Oh, also, just like everything else, wait. If you're not struggling with the content, wait for the last data pull for this medal. Get your idea, look at all your Keyblade setups, look where he would fit. If he's really going to benefit you to spend 15,000 jewels, like he's going to change your setup, then go for it. If not, wait till the last day and see if the next medals coming out are better or worse for your current setup. So he's here for until January 9th, so lots of time. Don't rush it. So key arts usually come with nice artwork. You guys can see the OG artwork over there. We got Supernova plus, so that means the Supernova is super effective to speed type enemies. I don't know why I'm keeping having a problem with that. He's going to do extra damage with a Supernova to speed type damage. That's what Supernova plus is, and they also cost more Chippendales because you can put up to 5,000 with these guys. With that being said, his max strength is 40,000. That's pretty much what these new medals are, 40,000 or a little bit more. Sephiroth having the most at 42,000 or 43, and 40,000 with a 78.12 multiplier. So not in the 80s, in the 78. So he's also not the strongest multiplier slash strength put together, but that's not what's important about this. It costs 1 gauge, so attack boost max 11, and you're fine, no gauges on that. It's an AoE for 78.12, 40,000, deals 5 hits that ignores target's attributes. So think about Ultimate Form Sora, super effective to all the medals. This is pretty much what this guy does, ignores target's attributes. Like you guys can see right here, here's Ultimate Form Sora, deals 3 hits that ignore target's attributes. So you guys know exactly how that works. So next up we got for 1 turn increases medal strength by 2,500. So think Nominate, think Chain of Memory Sora, think any medal, I believe, not the Aqua, but the Ava medal. It increases all medal strength. It doesn't matter if you're power, magic, speed, upright, or reverse. It's going to give every single medal in that Keyblade 2,500, making this medal really, really good with extra attack for 5,000 increase to everything on your Keyblade. So you mark this with your Nominate buffer on the Fenrir. It's going to do a lot of damage for upright power setups. Now, on top of that, you get strength, upright, and PSM strength by 15th. So you got by 15. So you got all strength buffs on this perfectly. So this guy can actually sit here with the proper Supernova medals. You almost don't need Nominate if the enemy doesn't have a way to like restore its defense and all that, or debuff you, you know what I mean? But having maxed out buffs on an attacking medal is really good, especially an attacking medal that increases all medal strength by 2,500. So With that being said, it also has damage higher than HP, so it can be anywhere on your Keyblade. Solid metal, always going to have 78.12 as long as you have a healer. Kind of contradicts what I just said about not needing Naminé or Kairi, because they're your healer, so if you get hurt, turn 2 and 3 is not going to do as much damage. But now let's push that to the side, and what's unique is his Supernova. And I know you guys already looked at this like, oh my god, but it's only for 3 attacks. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to give you guys some math here. So he uses AoE Supernova, which is a 220 multiplier for 3 attacks. So when you activate the Supernova, that leaves you with 2 more attacks for metal activation. Supernova counts as one of those activations. So when you activate a Supernova, you're going to get a metal strength boost of 9,999. So we're going to round that up and say it's 10,000. So with 10,000 for 3 attacks, what's going to happen there is that 1 attack, again, is taken away for the Supernova. That leaves 2 of them for the next activations of metals. That is a huge boost just for that 1 activation. That is huge, because usually the most we got is like 5,000. That is double what any other Supernova does, but it is only for 3 attacks. And I'm going to show you guys on Keyblade setups why this works. It's not really that big of a deal. But the rest of the Supernova also lowers the enemy's defense, upgrade, and PSM defense by 15 tiers. So the right Supernova is his Supernova specifically. And in the future, if you match us up with the new Terra or TVA metal, you can refresh this Supernova and do it again on the next turn, the next turn, the next turn, depending on how many Terras you have or TVA metal. So you technically, like I said before, you don't really need Naminé or Kairi, but if you get hurt, he's got less damage. But just a little heads up there that in the future you can fool around with these kind of setups. Also, special attack bonus up by 300%. So solid Supernova. Now let me explain why 3 attacks is not that big of a deal. Alright, so I'm going to go through each Keyblade and where it belongs, but I'm mostly going to talk about why this works out. Since it's a Supernova activation is what gives you the 3 attacks and not his attack, so when you swipe him, it doesn't really matter. You activate the Supernova where you want to activate the Supernova, so your best section of your Keyblade that will benefit the most from those 3 attacks, or 2 attacks after the Supernova. So, first let me just show you what Keyblade setups where he sits, and pretty much I think he's going to be the best at. On the Treasure Trove is going to be this slot over here, or this slot over here. If you want those perfect activations, it doesn't really matter. It's Supernova, so he can fit wherever he wants. I'm going to use Ultimate Form Sora as my Key Art 22, if you guys haven't realized that yet. So he's going to sit right over here. And the reason I like him sitting lower is because he's got that metal strength, 2,500 to every other metal on your setup. And he's not the strongest multiplier. He's got a 78 multiplier, 40,000 strength. When you got metals like Autie over here, or future metals, and even Naminé, I want to compare it to Naminé because Naminé's got more multiplier and only 3,000 less strength, which doesn't make up that Key Art 22 is still stronger, being super effective to everything. But the whole case is like if you do have an extra Naminé and you have attack boost on it, you don't really need to switch it because Naminé's got 5,000 metal strength, 2,000 per cast. It's not too far off. So if you are someone with multiple Naminés and you're using them as attacking metal, you don't really have to replace it. So that's a little just heads up there. But Keyblade setups. So earlier in the setup, the better, because its Supernova can be activated anywhere. You've got the Treasure Trove. You've got Olympia over here. Not too early, but it can still work. Moogle Glory on the end. Again, not too early, but you also got to realize that it doesn't have to be early because every other metal on the Keyblade could also be metals that increase your metal strength for all the other metals, or just upright, reverse, magic, speed. So it doesn't have to be there because every metal on your Keyblade eventually is going to have a strength increase. So it doesn't really matter where it sits. But if if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of these kind of metals, then the earlier the better to benefit all your metals. Stroke of Midnight, nothing going on. Stroke of Midnight, Fenrir is going to be the best place for him because he does get to sit on the 2nd slot, but 3rd slot also works, so on and so on. So Fenrir is obviously going to be the best, especially with the new metals coming out. Darkna, again, really good. It doesn't matter it's upright. It fits that upright slot and it gives all these other metals 2,500 or 5,000 with extra attack. And then with that activation, even better. And then we got Fairy Stars, which is only the 1st slot, so it doesn't really count. And then Bad Guy Breaker. And like any Keyblade setup, you pretty much can put on the pet slot if you want to as your heavy damage dealer, but there is stronger metals out there with having that higher multiplier and higher strength. So with that being said, This is kind of example I want to show you. Now, Ultimate Form Sower is KR22. I have 2 copies here for a reason. I'm going to talk about Coliseum. But before we do that, you guys are saying, well, why not just have another Nominate? Why not just save my jewels when Nominate comes out, or use multiple copies of Nominate? Because Nominate gives 5,000 per medal on your Keyblade setup. And this guy only gives 9,999 for 3 attacks, including the Supernova, so really only 2 attacks. Okay, so Nominate and any medal that increases Supernova by 5,000 is actually better, even the 4,500. And that being said is because if a medal has extra attack, that's going to eat up the 2 activations. So let's say you have 1 KR22 and you have this medal over here. That's where you activate it on your 5th slot. You're not going to activate, let's say it's Autie. Autie gets activated, does his attack. He takes that first 9,999. So out of the 3, Supernova took 1. And then Autie took 1, and now Autie has extra attack for 40%. He takes the other 9,999. So that doesn't fully benefit a full attack medal. So that kind of sucks, because now you only got that 3 activations on Supernova, 1 full attack, and 1 less than half attack of damage. If you have a medal that has 120%, this is going to benefit that medal greatly, especially in Coliseum. So if you guys do have a medal with extra attack 120%, this Supernova is really, really good. But if the medal does not have extra attack and you activate Autie, doesn't have extra attack, and goes into your next medal, you now benefited from full 2 attacks. But like I was saying before, it only equals about 20,000 damage on your Keyblade setup, 20,000 strength increase, where if you use something like Nominate would give you 5,000 for every medal. So not including the buffer, let's say Nominate activates, that's 5,000 here, 5,000 here, that's 10, 15,000, 20,000. Your pet slot is 25,000, and then your friend medal is 30,000. So you get 30,000 overall strength for your entire Keyblade for a medal that increases by 5,000. In that sense, it is better, especially because if each medal has extra attack, every single extra attack gets an extra 5,000 strength. So in the end result, it is better to have a medal with 5,000 versus this one medal that gives 2 medals, almost 10,000, only missing 1. But again, it depends how your Keyblade is set up. It depends how many extra attacks you have. It's not that hugely beneficial, but in the sense of PvE Coliseum, so when you go into Coliseum to go for the top rankings, as you get higher and higher and higher, it's harder and harder and harder. Let's take this Keyblade setup, and let's just say it's your strongest Keyblade setup. Forget about that I'm on the bad guy breaker with bad multiplier, it's only level 5. Let's say you pull 2 KR22s, so you have 2 of them here, and then you do your best medal setup. So let's say we're on the counterpoint, boom, 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 and I put an Elsa over here. What's going to happen is that you're going to activate your KR22 twice for 5,000 strength, KR22 twice for another 5,000 metal strength. That's going to benefit these Elsas. Elsa's going to activate for 2,500 metal strength twice. That's another 5,000, 5,000. So you got 5, 10, 15, 20,000 strength just from these activations. And then Supernova activations for the 2 Elsa are another 9,000. So that's already a lot of damage right there. You're benefiting from 29,000 damage. Now that you're on this slot, because you've activated everything else already, you're now going to activate another Supernova for 4,500. And then after you activate this Supernova, don't cast your last medal yet. Activate his Supernova, and then activate this medal, and this medal will get a boost of 20,000 just from the KR22's activation. And the reason that works is you only want 2 KR22s for Coliseum. So one activation KR22 is going to take away one of those 9,999, leaving you with 2. And then if you activate the other KR22, that's going to leave you with 1 9,099. But then the other KR22's 9,999 is going to carry over, equaling 20,000 in one sitting. After you activate Elsa here, you're only going to have 1 more 9,999 left. And if your medal has extra attack 120%, it gets at least that 10,000 on that activation. But that 20,000 boost is really good for Coliseum, where you need to do it in one turn. That's going to help to one turn future content with 2 KR22s, because they're only medals that will benefit 10,000 in one Supernova activation. Now, obviously, you've got carryover Supernovas from Elsa that carries over 2 turns, 4,500. So you can really do a lot of carryover with that. But if you're in a situation like Coliseum where you want a 1-turn stuff, that can be very beneficial. But These are all little things here and there. It all depends on your setups. It all depends if you guys want to go for this. Yes, it can work out. As you guys saw, it is certain situation that works for this, but for 15,000 joules for an upright power, if wherever I showed you on those Keyblade setups, you can put this KR22 there and it benefits you greatly because you have no good upright power metals, then it's really good to go for, especially with the future TVA metals coming out. If you get Terra or the TVA metal, they work together very, very well because you can reactivate that 9,999 all over again for the next slot and the next slot and the next slot. You know what I mean? There's going to be better strategies out there in the future with that mechanic, but this is something that can be very beneficial to keep reactivating 10,000 metal strength once you activate all your other supernovas, and then you refresh it, and then you attack with the next metal, and then attack with the next metal. It works out really, really well. So it is a good metal. I would honestly love to get the metal, but at the same time, I don't really think I need another upright power metal. Currently, my magic setup's really powerful. I know there's gonna be situations where magic's not gonna be really good. You want to use something else, but I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine with what I currently have, and you guys can look at your own setup and say, hey, do I need this or don't need this? That's all up to you. Are you saving towards nominate because 30,000 was too expensive for you? You want to come back for another 30,000, or it might come back as a 5 mercy pull, which it should. And there also could be talk about a new nominate or Kyrie that also do that TVA setup that I was talking about. The new nominate and Kyrie could be like reset all your supernovas for every metal, not just upright or power magic speed or reverse. It might just do everything. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I mean? You just got to be careful. If you're passing content, then don't pull. That's my greatest advice. If you're not struggling, don't pull. Period. That's it. If you're not struggling, if you're struggling, you're barely passing, then something needs to be replaced on your Keyblade setup, and then you should look into what you need to replace. But besides that, try to focus on 2 different attributes. Me, currently, I focus on speed and magic. Those are my 2 best setups. I do have a power setup that works really well, but I really focus on making those 2 powerful. It's hard to really afford 3 different setups unless you're playing for a very long time and you're very smart with your joules. So, KR22, guys, that's up to you. Let me know what you think about it down below. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.